Hey everybody, what's going on? My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. If you like making money, I can help you do that. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Today I'm going to talk about physical precious metals. I'm going to go over it again. I'm going to keep driving this home to all my subscribers and viewers so that you really understand about physical precious metals. So we're popping here. I call this physical precious metals. And I'm just going to make something very clear. I call this lies, lies, and more lies. It seems like everywhere I look, there's lies. The paper market is manipulated. JP Morgan paid close to $1 billion in settlement fees for their spoofing and manipulation. Inflation was defined as the increase in the money supply. That was it. It was just an increase in money supply. That is inflation. Now it's the rise in CPI. And now I think they even changed it again, something to the cost of living index. It's BS. They did this to manipulate the inflation rate. That they want to be able to inflate more and then say, hey, look, the consumer price index, and they just make stuff up. So it's all a bunch of lies. That's really what it comes down to. So paper versus physical. And I get a lot of questions here about, should I buy this ETN or ETF? Should I do physical? Look, the whole point here is they use paper contracts to manipulate the price of the metals. And they try to keep the metals from breaking out of patterns. They're trying to control. They hit the metals hard Tuesday, and they increased margin requirements. That was planned, and they did it on purpose. They released articles about downgrades of mining companies and probably released incorrect information about Wall Street bets, Wall Street silver squeeze, etc., to try to manipulate you, to try to scare you out of your positions. This is how they manipulate things. Don't be afraid. And I much prefer the physical. The paper is garbage. It is complete garbage. Now, physical premiums. I know I was reading some comments and people are like, it's got 20% premiums. Physical premiums exist because of the paper market not working correctly. The physical price is the physical price. There is no premium. The premium over paper doesn't exist, if that makes sense. The paper price is made up and they manipulate it. The physical is what the price is to obtain the physical. It's a disconnect between the two markets, and I think this could continue for a long time in a very tight market. They will continue to lie to everyone and try to prevent people from buying physical metals. Now, ask yourself this. Why are they lying? Why would they do that? And if they are trying to prevent you from buying physical metals, wouldn't that mean you should probably get more physical metals? I mean, there's a reason they don't want you to buy it. And I bet you that reason's pretty good. And I'm not going to tell you all the reasonings. You guys can figure those reasonings out. But one of the reasons is all of their power lies in the dollar. That is where their power lies. So they can't have you go off the dollar and they can't have you buying real money. So paper ETFs. Plus, one other reason, and just to step back, is that if gold and silver, real money, start to take off, it means that there's problems with the dollar. And if people think that there's problems with the dollar, there could be a run on the dollar. That's another reason. So paper ETFs. I would avoid putting money into paper ETFs like SLV, PPLT, GLD, etc. I would buy the physical and keep cost averaging into the physical metals. That's what I do. That's what I think that you guys should maybe start to look into adopting, is a cost averaging strategy. My favorites on a ratio basis are platinum and silver. Bullion and government-issued coins are both good. Bullion can be bars, rounds, doesn't matter. As long as it says 0.999 fine silver or 0.995 platinum, that is stamped onto the coin. And it's of a well-known minting company. They want to convince you that precious metals are not the spot to be. Know that. They are trying to manipulate you, and don't let them. You don't have to let them manipulate you. I still buy no matter what, as long as it's cheap. I continue to cost average in, and I'm here to tell you this is the very reason why you need precious metals, is because they're trying to tell you not to buy it. I'll go into an old saying. The old saying is, whenever they tell you not to panic or to avoid something, that's the very time you need to panic and buy that something they're telling you to avoid. The power of the banks is derived from the use of their currency. And when the currency die, the banks die around them. So anything that uses that currency, they die with it. So their sole survival depends on the currency surviving. And they're going to do everything in their power to manipulate and to maintain that power over the currency. So I'm going to go over a couple quotes. Banking was conceived in inequity and was born in sin. The bankers own the earth. Take it away from them, but leave them the power to create deposits. And with a flick of a pen, they will create enough deposits to buy it back again. This Sir Josiah Stamp is a banker. But if you want to continue to be slaves of the banks and pay the cost of your own slavery, then let the bankers continue to create money and control credit. And the last one's from Henry Ford. It is well enough that the people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. That's from Henry Ford. Now, freedom. Be free and secure your future with physical precious metals. I think they deserve a spot in everyone's portfolio. The problem is, not everyone could put an allocation to their portfolio because we would run out of the metals at current prices. They are too low. So that's what I've got for today on physical precious metals. I have a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions in the comment section about physical precious metals. That's why I'm doing a lot of presentations on physical precious metals. You can go to dealers and get this stuff. If you don't know how to obtain physical precious metals, go to a local dealer. Just show up. You don't have to buy anything, and just see how the whole process works. Just watch and observe it. Ask the person who owns the company, say, hey, look, how do you guys handle trades? If I were to come in here with some silver and trade it for platinum, what's the process and what do you guys charge? Become an expert in it. Go ask, get the questions that you have, ask them directly and see what they have to say. Ask them about sales taxes, ask them about taxes, when they have to do a 1099 as a dealer. Ask them all that information to see if investing in physical precious metals is for you and how you can do the transactions, when they're open, how they handle things. If they don't have the metal on hand, do they have to buy more? All of those questions are valid questions. When I went in and I traded my gold and palladium for platinum back in April of 2020, I thought it was extremely easy. It took me less than 30 minutes. I went in there with the physical metals. I exchanged it with the dealer, and the dealer gave me store credit, and then I swapped them for platinum, and I negotiated prices. Gold I got over spot, and platinum at the time, since it was very cheap, was a very good deal. It was only like $30 over spot. So I really didn't pay anything in terms of spot, because I was 25 over on spot on the gold, and I was 30. I think I paid 30 over is what I negotiated with them. This was back in April 2020 when the prices were pretty low, because now the prices are going to go up in terms of over spot premiums. So I negotiated with them. When you bring in metal, some of these guys, since they were short the metal, they wanted it pretty bad, so I could negotiate very well with them. So that was my experience. I did it. I came in twice. I did palladium, and I also did some gold. The gold I got a very good deal on, and the palladium I had to go. I used the dealer. They were basically working with the distributor, and I worked with the distributor on the platinum price, and they bought the palladium from that other person. The dealer did not buy the palladium for themselves. So that was my experience. It was very easy. I had to wait some weeks for the one on the platinum because they were back ordered, and I said, just order it. I don't care. If it takes 6 weeks to get in, it doesn't matter. And it took like 5 or 6 weeks to get in. So that was my experience. It was very, very easy to deal with. It was no problems. And that was some of my first times dealing with that dealer locally. So that's my experience. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Let me know what you have for questions. And, thank you for listening. Subscribe if you haven't. Give me a thumbs up. And this is Finding Value.